Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Whiteside, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it. And you know, we always like to bring you up-to-date information. We like to go to the source of the people that know that information. Glad to be able to do that with Chief Corey Henry. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Of course, Chief of the Houma Fire Department. And so one of those things that I think people think about, you know, it gets to be October. It starts to get to be cool weather, and people are like, oh, we want to start a fire. And that's not what we want to do.
Nope, not at this time.
Right.
We are still currently under a burn ban.
Right.
There is some confusion with that of what you can do and what you can't do.
Okay.
So I'll kind of go through them.
That'd be great.
First, the agricultural part. There are some exemptions now coming down from the state. So agriculture is allowed to burn, but they need to contact the Department of Forestry first. So they can figure out exactly what they're going to do.
Well, and they need to figure out where they are, where that burn's going to be, and make sure that it's controlled.
That is controlled.
Right? And that's why they want to make sure that.
Yep. The second part is there is still a burn ban for the commercial properties and residents. Okay. You still cannot burn any type of trash, rubbish, or have fire pits outside. But you are allowed to cook. You can cook in something that is designed to cook in, a barbecue pit or anything like that. That's still allowed. But we do caution and ask that, you know, there's some type of fire suppression system, whether it's a water hose or a fire extinguisher, there to stop any embers that may fly.
Right.
So that's currently still allowed.
And so just for people to know, you know, we get into October, people are thinking about Halloween, they're thinking about what they want to do. We cannot have a fire pit outside where we're going to roast marshmallows, but if you want to put those on the pit, that's different.
Yep, you can go ahead and do it on the pit.
Right. So just make sure you're cooking on something that is a verified cooking a unit, something that you can cook with, not an open flame.
That's correct.
We want to avoid those open flames. And so we appreciate that. And so this burn ban, it's lasted quite a while, but we've had a lot of dry air.
Yes. Right? So the little bit rain we did have really didn't do a dent. If you still look in the ground, it's still cracked. So we're still concerned about the dry grass catching fire. So that's why the burn ban is still in effect. It is reviewed every week.
Okay.
So it's kind of, the state kind of shifted gears now, and it's parish by parish now. Okay. So the parishes are having a little bit more input. Terrebonne, we're still in a burn ban.
Yeah, and that's just the way it needs to be. This is where we are, and y'all are assessing that, like you said, every week, talking with those parishes. And quite frankly, with the events that we've had this summer and early fall with some of these fires, these marsh fires, let's just all pay attention.
Yes.
We don't need to create any additional problems that our wonderful fire departments haven't had to deal with already. I mean, it's been a trying few months.
It's been long.
I know. And so that's just one of those things. Now, we also want people to think about other safety measures. We want people to make sure that they're being safe in their homes. And you guys do a great job, especially when it comes to smoke detectors and making sure that we're keeping people safe.
Yep. So remember, we should have a smoke alarm on every level. So multi-story houses, we should have one at least on every level and by your sleeping areas. Okay. It's still a good idea to check them once a month and replace them after every 10 years. If you're not sure where to get them or where to put them, call your local fire department. We can come out and help you out with that. Also, another big one is, since the cool weather's coming, is carbon monoxide.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
With all the gas appliances we use, especially the heaters. So if you have a gas furnace, you want to make sure you have a carbon monoxide detector. Carbon monoxide is the silent killer. You can't smell it, see it, or taste it, and it'll sneak up on you. So we want to make sure that everybody has that.
Okay. And being able to check for that. And again, I guess, you know, with this cooler weather coming, we've got people that try to heat their houses in some very unique ways.
They do.
It's one of those things that that's how we see house fires very often, that start inside of the house, because people are just not always thinking through, you know, having a blanket, you know, and sleeping near something that shouldn't be on, like the stove or the oven.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you're not using your stove or your oven to heat, you know, your home. Also, if you're going to use a space heater, you want to keep a 2-foot safety distance around.
So 2 feet all the way around everything.
Yep. And you know, if you're going to use candles for any reason, make sure they're on a non-combustible surface.
Yeah, because you know, we find that all the time. These candles, they melt down, and now all of a sudden they get right next to something that's combustible, and now we have a house fire.
Or an animal will run around and knock it off.
Knock it over. Okay, you're right. We need to keep it. Okay, I didn't even think about that. So the animal's doing that as well. And so one of these things that we're always trying to make sure that people are aware of is just make sure that your home is safe and that we're doing really smart things. And so we're talking about kind of inside and outside. And again, those carbon monoxide, we got to make sure that whatever we have, we can test for that, right?
Yes. So just you can have them, they're either battery operated or you can plug them in. You can get them at any store, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, or any type of facility like that.
Okay.
And again, if you're not sure where that should go, call your local fire department. We'd be more than happy to come out and help you install that also.
And, you know, one of those things I got to tell you, it was just so very nice to see. I've seen several fire trucks and different vehicles with the fire department in our communities. You guys are out there, ladies and gentlemen, out there, kind of checking and seeing. I love the fact that we can just kind of make a phone call and ask. So people that need questions clarified, they can do that and clarify those questions. Or if they need you to come out, y'all will do that.
Yes, and we can be reached at 985-873-6391. And if it's not in our jurisdiction, we'll point you in the right direction at least.
Yeah, and so again, that's just one of those things that I love about all of the support that we get through the fire department is that not only will you go and help, but if it's not in your area, because you probably get half of the phone calls you probably get are not necessarily in your area, not for Houma Fire Department. I love the fact that you're being a resource for them. And so maybe a shout out to your team and all the great work that they've done during these last few months, these challenging times.
Especially our fire department, the city fire department, they've been doing an outstanding job, and the local fire districts that surround us.
Yeah. Well, we're so thankful for what you guys do. We're so very thankful that we have you in your leadership roles, and more importantly, being out there, boots on the ground, literally boots on the ground, taking care of and keeping our residents safe. We can't thank you enough for doing it.
Thank you.
All right, very good. Thanks for being here, Chief. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment. Don't go anywhere. A whole lot more right here on Bayou Time.